Hello and welcome to Joanne's Cosmic Energy Radio Show. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, student of astrology, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Deck. And for those of you who may not be aware, I'm also the owner of Holistic Fitness, this beautiful facility. Yes, it's behind me. It's not one of those collages or whatever those things are called. It's an actual, really real space. Yes. And it's located in Queens, New York. Anybody's interested in coming and working out in a one-on-one setting? I'm open and available and eager to meet with you. Anyway, with all that being said, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsors that actually help make my TV show run and my radio show. So a big shout out to two of my sponsors, Kendrick Greer, our astrologer. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you connect with him. There's a lot of energy floating in the air right now, the cosmic world. You definitely want to connect. You really want to find out what's going on for you, why you might be feeling a little bummed out, lacking motivation, and feeling like wanting to stay in bed. Because there's an explanation to it, and he's the one you want to connect with. You can connect with me on the little stuff, but I recommend connecting with him on the bigger stuff. And then we have Gail Nicholson. She's our resilience coach, metaphysical practitioner, and the host of the Three Crones and the Woo Woo. So those are our sponsors for today. And let's just dive in. Before I, at some point, bring on my guest a little later on, she'll be joining us probably in a half hour, Dean. But because this is all about the cosmic energy, let's talk about cosmic energy. Let's talk about what's going on in the skies. What's going on for each and every one of you? How excited is everybody for May? Now, I just recently wrote an amazing article that should be launching probably within a few days, the latest by Monday. And it's all about May. It's all about what's going on in May for each and every one of us. Just to give you a quick tip on it, the title of the article is called Mother May I. And that's because for me, this entire month of May is really holding the vibration of Mother May I. Now, I don't know if any of you are my age. You might be a little younger, so you may not be familiar with this, but if you are over the age of, let's say, 30, you're familiar with the game Mother May I. And Mother May I was a kid's game, a fun game that we used to play outside. I mean, you can play it inside as well, but I remember playing it outside. And we all stood in a line, and there was that one person that stood in the front and sort of gave commands. And in order to proceed forward, you had to use the term Mother May I. And as long as you did, you were able to move forward. If you've forgotten to say Mother May I, you literally had to go back to the starting line. And I truly believe that the month of May carries that vibration of, we're going to use the term Mother May I, Mother is the universe. And the universe is giving every one of us true big permission to take not just one giant step, but a quantum leap into that next project. Because that's the energy that we are in. Now, when we think about May is the 5th month of the year. The 5 carries a vibration of change. Now, if you're like me, I'm not really good with change, unless I'm the one in control of it. So if I'm controlling the changes, if I'm the one driving and in the driver's seat, I'm really happy with change. But if I'm not the one driving and the universe is controlling the changes that's going on in my life, it makes me really uneasy. Now, as a healer and also personal trainer, I hear this from a lot of my clients as well, that when they are not in control of the changes that are coming in, they get a little nervous. And I'm sensing that's the energy that many of us are carrying right now, because again, May carries the vibration of change. But recognizing that each and every one of us has a desire or two to want to have something different in our life. Now, in order to have that something different in our life, we need to be willing to change something. And it doesn't matter how big or small that change is. The concept of it is that we need to change something. And it's not just a matter of changing your underwear. It's got to be a little bigger than that, guys. A little bigger than that. You have to be willing to change something that's going to shift your energy. Because when we do have that change, then we have some freedom. And as I said before, I know for me, when I'm in control of the change, it makes me really happy because then I know I'm freeing myself up to make space for whatever's I am intuitively connecting to. However, if we wait for the universe to change it for us, and when I use the word when we wait, it's not as though we're actually waiting. We're just too afraid to take that step forward, or as I said before, the quantum leap forward to change something because we're really comfortable. And we're comfortable in the space that we're in, and comfortability does not really bring us freedom. Now, I've been hearing a lot from a lot of my clients, and even people I just speak to randomly on the street, that people are bored. They're not motivated. They're feeling stagnant. They're feeling stuck. Now, I truly believe that when we are feeling stagnant, stuck, bored, and not motivated, there's a big reason why. And that reason is called recalibration. Recalibration. We are recalibrating our psyche, our energy. And the universe is helping us to do that. So we have absolutely no idea to what's going on behind the scenes. So that makes us feel a little stagnant. Makes us like, we feel like something's supposed to be happening, but we're not quite motivated to do whatever that something is. And that's what this 5 energy is going to help us with. So let's just dive into today's energy. One of my favorite energies of the entire year of 2021. Now, perhaps you had a chance to catch me live this morning as I chatted a little bit about this energy of 2021. And when we think about this energy of 2021, it is the only, and I mean the only day out of the 365 days of this year, and we don't have a leap year, so we don't get an extra day, where this is the most powerful day of the entire year. So if for whatever the reasons are, you did not know this, and you woke up this morning being clueless or not quite sure to what it is you want to do for today, it's 3:07 p.m. Eastern time where I am, which means it gives me the rest of my half a day to go and do something spontaneous, because we're not getting this energy back after today. This is very powerful energy. Now let's break it down. As I've already mentioned, 5 in numerology carries a vibration of change, freedom, adventure. How many of you like adventure? How many of you like to go on adventures? I don't know about me. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll get back to you on that. But it also is about courage. You need to have the courage to go on an adventure. You need to have the courage to step into the unknown. Because again, when everything is all planned out and we know exactly what's going to happen, it gets a little boring. Now, I don't know about you, but I like things planned out. Even though it doesn't seem boring, the psyche starts to feel like it's boring. So we need the courage to be willing to have the adventure and to move into that freedom. Now, what does freedom mean for you? Now, I'm not speaking the political sense of freedom, but if you want to speak on that, feel free to put it in the comments. I'm speaking more about freedom, like having the freedom to decide whether or not you want to work a 9 to 5, or you want to work 4 hours in your day. Or I know a couple of years ago, there was a lot of energy floating around a 4-hour work week. Who wants to work a 4-hour work week? That either means you can work 4 hours in one day and then the rest of your week you don't work at all, or you work 1 hour per day for 4 days, however you want to break it up, or you want to do a half hour here, whatever. But that's what freedom is, where you get to decide how you want to plan out your life, how you want to plan out your life. You get to decide that because you are the creator. But you have to be willing to make changes in your life. So if there's something going on in your life that you're not really feeling, you're bored, you're stagnant, you're waking up feeling what? Well, you get to change that. You get to change that because you are the creator. You are created by the creator. I'm going to say that again. You are created by the creator. So you have this ability to decide what you want freedom in. You have that ability. And that's this energy of the entire month of May. Now, I'm not sure because I didn't look at my calendar, but I believe there's 31 days in May. If I'm wrong, forgive me, but I think there's 31 days in May. Yeah, there's 31 days in May. And we are already on the 5th day of May. So we have all these days in the month of May to literally bring change into our lives. Now, I want to remind you that if you are not the one that's going to make these changes on your own, whatever changes that are supposed to come in, you're going to have help. And what I mean by that, before I dive into the other 2 5s in this date, because I will, I just want to tap on just for a few seconds about Pluto retrograde. Pluto, the planet Pluto is going to help us transition. Now, when we think about the word transition, yes, it does say transition is about endings, things coming to an end. That's attached to those changes. So whatever has sort of died out, decayed, no longer fits, or you've just do what you needed to do with it, and now it's time to hand it over to somebody else. That is the Pluto energy. And Pluto is retrograde until October 6th. So we have 5 months. There's that 5 again. Love it, love it, love it, love it. We have 5 months of Pluto helping us with our transitions. Things that we may not be brave enough or courageous enough to do on our own. Pluto's going to help. Now, again, as I mentioned before, sometimes we don't like change. So we hold on to things that have literally decayed. And when we're holding on to things that have decayed, it doesn't serve our spirit. So I'm inviting you, as I've been inviting, because I've been doing this, inviting invitations since Pluto has retrograde, and that took place as of April 27th on that full moon. I'm inviting you to really take an inventory of your life, whatever area of your life, and evaluate what area of your life needs to have some sort of transition in it. Whether it be in regards to your business, your health, your job, your relationships, yourself, your own health for that matter, whatever it is. But this is a time to take that inventory. I mean, you have 5 months. 5 months. And do not be surprised if out of the blue, you wake up one morning and something that you've been doing on a regular basis literally comes to a halt. And that's because Pluto stepped in. Pluto's going to help you because we're not all so happy with changing on our own. So Pluto's going to come in and help. So with that being said, let's talk about that second 5 in today's date, which is the actual day. Today's the 5th day of May. So now we have a double 5, 55. Carries a very powerful energy, not a master number though. But that 55, anytime a number repeats itself, it is a reminder from the universe that there's change coming in. Change is coming in. Now again, depending on where you are in the world, I know in the New York area, there's massive change coming in. As of May 19th, I believe, things are going to open up. Businesses are going to go back to norm. That's massive change right there. How many of you are ready for this? So again, it's one of those things, one of those areas in our lives where we're being prepared. We're being told that by May 19th, things are going to open. So that's massive change right there. 5th month. Do you think that's a coincidence, people? I don't believe in coincidence. I don't even like to say the word. But anyway, that double 5 is a reminder from the universe that change is coming. There is freedom coming in. You get to decide. Now, there's going to be a lot of people in New York who's going to probably be going back to work, whether they be going back to work on a full-time basis, a couple days out the week, whatever is planned for them. And then there's going to be a lot of people making decisions that they're not looking to go back. Even though their jobs are opening, they might decide that I want my freedom. I want to do something different. And I'm going to bounce into Pluto again. Pluto might jump in and help them. So I share this with you because I want to give you the invitation of start exploring where you are in your life. And what are you feeling the itch to shift? So that's that double 5. Now let's talk about the third 5. Where's the third 5 come in? That comes in from 2021. Let's add those numbers up. We've all done kindergarten and first grade, and right? We know how to add. 2021 equals 5. Now, when we take those numbers, the 2021, you have partnerships in there from the 2. You have the 1, a new beginning, and then you got a 0, which is choices and potential. And that's what that number 5 is made out of. The entire year, the universal year energy, we're all feeling it. This is a year of change. Last year, we were in a 4 energy year, which was about building a new foundation. This year's about change. We all were forced last year to build the new foundations. Foundations had to be broken up so we can build a new foundation. You can't build a new foundation on old foundation. Everything has to break. Here we are. Universal energy of 5, change, and I'm going to say it again, freedom, courage, adventure, and unpredictability. And the unpredictability could actually be good because sometimes when things are too predictable, it gets boring. So here we have these 3 5s on this amazing day. We will not have this energy after today again. Now, yes, when we think about May 14th and we think about May 23rd, we're going to have similar energy because those energies add up to the 555, but not as powerful as today's energy. And why do I feel it's so damn important for me to come here on my radio show and share this information with you? Because when we think about that 555, and I love numbers. Anytime I get a chance to chat numbers, I'm on it. So when we think about that 555, it adds up to a 15, which means it's a 6. And in numerology, the number 6 carries the energy of the healer. How are we healing? How are the changes that each and every one of us are undergoing, whether we are aware of it or not? How is it helping us to heal? And even more importantly, how is it helping us collectively heal? Because we're all healers and we're all healing. Because that's what we're doing, every one of us. Whether you are qualifiable to call yourself a healer or not, doesn't matter. We all have the potential to heal ourselves. And this amazing energy that we are in today is helping us do just that. And we have so much energy helping us with our planets, between Pluto being retrograde, and shortly, I believe on May 22nd or May 23rd, Saturn is going to go retrograde in Aquarius energy. Saturn is our planet of discipline and structure, another big planet out there. It's going to be in retrograde in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is an air sign. So it's going to get us in our head, focusing on how we can find that discipline and structure. And that actually is going to take place the same day of the full moon, which will be in Sagittarius energy. So we have a lot of energy coming in over the next 2.5 weeks when we think about it. So we have a lot of help. And at the end of this month, at the end of May, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Gemini energy. So there's a lot of stuff going on that's going to cause us to reflect, review, recalibrate, reorganize. reflection in reference to change, because it's all connected in the universal year energy of 5. How powerful. How do you feel? Now, those of you who are watching, those of you who are listening, feel free to leave your comments. I would love to get an idea of what you are feeling about all of this information. Perhaps first time you're hearing about this and it sounds like a lot of crazy, or you're very much aware of it and it's resonating and it's hitting home and you're sitting back and saying to yourself, oh my God, what am I supposed to be doing? Well, just hang in there. What I like to do as we tap into all of this energy, I want to pull a card, because what I usually like to do is, as I get you all stirred up in this energy, I like to help you with at least one chakra to clear the energy of that chakra. Because I don't want to leave you hanging and leave you stuck or stagnant. I want to help, because again, that's what I do. So I invite you just to close your eyes for just a minute. As you close your eyes, if you feel the desire, place your hand on your heart and feel your heartbeat, because that's a reminder that you're breathing. And as you are breathing, know that you are still here and there's much life in you, which means there's much for you to still be doing and so much to be changing. Because again, guys, in order for us to have anything we desire to have, we need to be willing to change things. We're not going to be able to have a different outcome if we continue doing things the same way. So whatever it is that you're looking to do, whatever it is you're looking to create, you have to be open to changing. Love the card that's popping in right now. And you also may shuffle. So the card is family. And just for today, perhaps we can focus in on what we can change regarding family. How can we heal? How can we heal without family? Whether it's communication, whether it's helping somebody to get healthier, whatever it is. Family is the theme for today, healing. And so funny that the number is 15, which works out to be a 6. And isn't that what I was just talking about? I love how my numbers coordinate, and I shuffle the damn deck. Yes. So 1 and 5, 1 is a new way of doing things with your family, a new way of doing things. Maybe you're not in the habit of picking up the phone and reaching out to see how family members are. Maybe it's time to do that. Whatever new way you could do something with your family, go ahead and do it. That number 5, that change. There's got to be a change taking place in your family in order to heal whatever needs to be healed in your family. We all can benefit on changing things in the family. So that 6 energy, which we rock into, is all about being the healer and helping to heal. The chakra is the heart center. The heart center. Can you see that beautiful green? Isn't that beautiful? The heart center. So when we tap into today's energy of healing and using this powerful 5-5-5 energy, let's really tap into healing the heaviness that might sit in your heart. Now, again, let's flip back over to Pluto energy just for 1 minute and recognize that Pluto is the planet of transitions and rebirth. So we may be carrying a lot of grief in things that we are letting go of, whether it's letting go of family members who might have crossed over, your fur babies that might have crossed over. That weighs heavy in the heart. And because it's collective, we all feel it. So I'm inviting you just to allow yourself to mourn it, and then to also allow the memory to stay alive by thinking of all the great times you've had with your fur baby and family members. Now, to lighten this up just a little bit, we're also going to be grieving the things that we've completed, different projects that we've completed, different people that our paths have ended, and now it's going a different direction. It could very well come back later at a different time. So all of this could be what we're grieving as well, causing the heart to feel heavy. So I just invite you to take today's energy, utilize it, heal one way or another, something small, something big. Use this powerful 555 energy to change. Have the courage to change. Step into the adventure of the unknown, and recognizing that sometimes, and I've been putting this on Facebook a lot, Sometimes you have to let go of things to make space for something new, even though you have no freaking idea what the new is. Like, I love this story. If you're looking to buy a new car and you have an old car sitting in the driveway, you have no room for a new car. So you need to get rid of the old car, pave up that driveway so you can have space for the new car to come in. And once you do that, you'll be surprised on how quickly you get your new car because you've made space for it. It works that simple, except sometimes we're afraid to shift something because we don't have it yet. But we have to come out of that fear and move into that space of being courageous. And when you move into courageousness, the doors will open. So with all that being said, even though it is a radio show, we do need to take a commercial break. And when I come back, I'm going to be excited to introduce you to my guest for today. So go grab that quick water and then come back in a minute. I'll be right back.
When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you how.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, S-T-A-R, @gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Cosmic Energy Radio Show. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I'm excited to have you here. If you are just tuning in, just let me know that you're here by saying hi, share, like, and comment if you like. I would love for you to do that. Why not? And for those of you who are just popping in and did not get a chance to hear the beginning portion of today's show, I do encourage you to go and watch it again. And you can watch it, you can listen to it, whatever it is. But know that I helped you today work on healing the heart center and recognizing this energy that we do have. That's a 555 energy. And this 555 energy is very powerful because the 5 repeats 3 times. And anytime a number repeats itself, it's the universe's way, to get our attention, because perhaps maybe we didn't catch it when we heard the 5 the first time, and the universe is saying, change. So the universe wants us to hear it a second time, change. The universe wants you to hear it the third time, because you probably didn't hear it the first 2 times because you haven't changed anything. So here we have this amazing energetic day to change, to transition, to let go of anything that is causing our energies to feel heavy. So if anything that's causing you to feel heavy, or it doesn't even have to feel heavy, it could just be the fact that maybe you just realize that, you know what, I need to let this go so I can make space to bring something else in. You know, so it doesn't have to necessarily always be about being heavy, as it could be about needing just to make space for something that intuitively you feel is coming in. And what do I mean by intuitively you feel as though something's coming in? You may have absolutely no idea what's going on behind the scenes, but you're just getting this real big desire to have to move things around, literally move things around for whatever the reasons are. because you feeling like, oh my God, I have to put something here. I just don't know what it is yet. And that's okay. And that's where the courageousness comes from, because we're doing something that we have no clue to why we're doing it. And that makes this energy really, really powerful when you are willing to shift something without having an idea to why you're willing to shift it. And one of the things that I've come to learn about myself is that learning how to pay attention to what my gut intuition tells me. So when my gut intuition says, this is what needs to be done, I don't question it. I don't say, but why? I don't feel like anything's coming in. I'm like, if this is what you're guiding me to do, I'm going to do it. Although I'm laughing at myself as I say that, because what I do, as I just said, I don't question it. What I do is I do question it. I call on my mom. And I ask my mom for the guidance, for her to confirm. So now that I've given you some more information about this change, my guest is here. And I want to introduce her because I want to spend time with her as opposed to like me doing what I usually do, talk, because I'm really good at it. Anyway, Damaris, please say your last name for me.
Samolinsky.
Samalinki. Oh, it's not that hard.
Samalinski.
There we
Samolinsky.
go. Yes. So Damaris is our Reverend and Interfaith Minister, and she's the creator. Now, I thought about bringing mine with me, but I didn't bring mine. But anyway, she's the creator of the Tiny Chakra Ritual Box. Now, as I said earlier in the show, even though they're tiny boxes, oh my God, do they provide massive healing. And let me, Damaris, share with the audience what these tiny chakra ritual boxes actually are, and even more importantly, what inspired you to create these boxes?
Well, I've been studying about the chakras for a long time. I understand that the chakras hold energy, especially when we have traumas or we have, we go through a shock or we go through negative experiences. The chakras hold these traumas or these energies. And if we do not balance them, if we don't embrace them and heal them, what happens is it becomes an illness or a disease. Because what they do is they block the life force energy that's going through the meridians to each organ. So they damage the organs. So a lot of people, are not aware of all of this. So one day I was meditating and Spirit said to create boxes, these chakra balancing boxes, to help people balance their chakras so that it doesn't become an illness, a physical manifestation of, their trauma. So I started creating them and I started, posting about it, and people started ordering them. And it comes with a little message, with a little reading, how I connect to that person's energy and see what's off within their energy field. And so I write everything down, plus I write exactly what to do with each little tiny piece that's in the box. And usually if you follow the instructions and you do it, usually you'll find a healing. And sometimes there's a healing crisis that occurs. So you're purging out something that's in your energy field that could have potentially been, an illness. So I feel like they can help a lot of people, and you can do it on your own. You can do it at your own pace. You can, set a time aside for yourself to do the rituals in the tiny box.
Yes. And it's so interesting because when we speak about these tiny chakra ritual boxes and the healing process, which was almost like an eye opener for me, me doing the work that I do as a healer as well, it turned on a light bulb for me in regards to when we think about healing and opening up our chakras. Because again, when we think about the chakras being blocked, it means they're closed. So now when we do the process of healing them, it's like, well, how the hell else do they heal unless, of course, whatever's blocking it needs to come out, which is, as you call it, the healing crisis.
Yes.
Yes. And that was like a light bulb effect for me, because I was like, you know what? All these years I'm doing what I'm doing, never dawned on me that, you know what? In order to open up that chakra, we're going to experience some sort of physical symptom that's going to show up.
I can
It's
give you an
not
example of
exactly. Go
myself.
ahead, give an example.
So when I was a little girl, my mom passed away, and I didn't know about these things. I was a little girl, and as I grew up, and as I started getting into my spiritual journey and studying, and really working on myself, my inner self to heal, I started working on my chakras, and that's when I really started tapping into them. And I had a healing crisis. I had a Reiki session done on me, and I had a healing crisis. I ended up in the hospital the next day. And so when I went to the hospital, I was like, I was fine the day before. So I couldn't understand what was going on with me and my body systems, right? So they said that I had acute bronchitis. So when I was like, acute bronchitis, I was fine the day before. Like, how does that happen, right? And I spoke to my healer at the time, who has now passed. She has now crossed over. And she said, you had a healing crisis. That's when I realized about the healing crisis. And I said, okay, so what does that mean exactly? She said, well, that could have potentially been breast cancer, because you were holding on to such pain in your heart that, and the breasts are next, in that area. It could have become breast cancer. So when you did the healing, what happened was that it purged out, and it came out as acute bronchitis. So at that moment, I said, okay, I'll take the acute bronchitis because I don't want the breast cancer.
Yeah,
And
of
I
course.
understood how this worked. I understood how powerful it was. And I understood that, it's not us, it's the energy that we're channeling, and the energy that's coming through that's actually helping you do the healing. It's not the healer per se. It's you initiate it with the so example with the chakra tiny ritual boxes. You initiate the healing, almost like you're calling it on. And so once you do that, then the process begins. And that's what the boxes are for. So someone may think that they're okay, but they may be stuck in their lives somewhere, and it could definitely be that they're stuck in one of the chakras that doesn't allow them to move forward. And so when they begin the process of the inner work, and they begin doing the little rituals, then it begins to open up for them, and they begin to move forward. And again, sometimes there's a healing crisis that occurs.
Yes, yes. And it's so interesting because she calls it the tiny chakra ritual box. But from my own experience, and also watching my husband go through his, because both my husband and I actually had Damaris create a box for both my husband and I, two separate boxes. And I'll just speak about my experience because my husband's not here to,
Of course.
defend himself. But from my experience, it's like this little box came with all this information. And and I've been doing my healing work since 2007. So my mind is like, okay, so what could possibly show up? And here it is 2021. And it's like I started doing, the lighting my candles and my prayers and everything you suggested for me to do in my box. And all of a sudden it's like I was getting this desire to have to like tap into my solar plex and tap into things that, and I'm going to use this term like digesting, and not in reference to digesting food, but digesting certain things that had taken place prior to my pregnancy, in my pregnancy, and then of course after pregnancy, and all in regards to my daughter and I.
Wow,
And
that's beautiful.
all of this came up from when I was working with the box. Now, of course, in the box and the letter that you gave me, it gave me all this information. And in my mind, I'm like, where the hell is all this coming from? But it was something that needed my attention based on what at this point in time was relevant for me to move forward.
Absolutely. And it created a shift, I believe.
Yes.
Speaking to you and you know, commenting back and forth with you, I feel like it created a shift. It brought you into a new phase of your life and your work. And I
Yes.
love it. And when I tapped into your aura, I felt, how powerful it was. And just you had to clear certain things, which I wrote in the box. And then once you did that, you will move forward into the next stage of your life, into the next type of work. A friend of mine, I was talking to a friend of mine, and, she was talking to me about COVID and the shutdowns, and how did you, do with the shutdowns? And I was like, well, I had a brick and mortar store, and I no longer have it. And all of a sudden, as I said that, it just came to me that now that I don't have the brick and mortar, the responsibility that goes along with that, now I can really do the work that I'm here to do, because now there's no blockages. There's no obstacles now, because I used to be blocked with all of that, all the, how it is,
Oh, yes,
the
yes.
having a store, all the things that come along with it, the responsibilities that come along with it. Now that's been washed away, that's been moved aside, so that I can step into the real work that I'm supposed to be doing. And so when I channel that, I no longer was mourning that I didn't have a store. I no longer was, upset that I didn't have it, because I understood that it needed to go away. It needed to wither away in order for me to step into new areas and a new phase.
Exactly, exactly. And when one really understands how the chakra system works and the whole process of wanting to do the work. Now, I truly believe there's plenty of people out there that want to do the work, but when they actually start to do the work, they get afraid.
Yes.
Because of the healing crisis that
Yes.
we do undergo, because it's not pretty. It's
not
not to the
pretty.
point where okay, we're gonna open up the heart chakra and everything's gonna be this joy, peaceful place.
No, that's not how it
Sometimes it
works.
may not be, and things might show up, and it's like, oh my God, why am I feeling like this?
Yes. I call it growing pains, you're growing. So as
Yes.
you're doing that work, it's growing pains. You go through pains when you grow, especially what happens is our energy, right? Our energy is a certain size because we haven't gotten to the next phase of our lives. When you're growing into the next phase, your energy has to expand. It has to, and that expansion creates pain. And so that's what's happening. You're really growing, you're really expanding. And so it's not something to be afraid of, it's something to embrace, because we don't want to be stuck. We don't want to be, we want to expand, we want to evolve, we want to transcend, and we want to grow into new states of consciousness. If we don't, we stay stuck. And so the downside to that is not just illness and disease, it's also that your soul is not evolving. And that's the whole purpose why we're here. We're here to, evolve, to learn the lessons that will help us evolve. And so if we're not evolving, we're stuck.
Exactly, exactly. And when we think about evolving, it's also a matter of wherever we were and where we're going. Energetically, we need this work to help us get to where we're going. Like, for
That's right.
example, what is it, 10 years ago? I mean, who would have known that I would be doing what I'm doing today if I didn't explore my spiritual journey?
That's right.
And I
That's right.
truly believe that every one of us at one point or another taps into their spiritual journey, because there's something that needs to transition to the next level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always tell people we're not just the physical. We're made up of layers. And so if we only focus on the physical, we're ignoring, the other bodies, the emotional body, the mental body, the spiritual body. And in the spiritual body is where everything, takes place as far as on the soul level. So if we never tap into the spiritual level, we're never going to transcend and evolve and, reach higher states of consciousness. So
Yes.
we definitely, the same way like you have a gym, the same way we physically want to look fit and we physically want to be fit, you also want to be fit in those other layers, in those other levels.
Exactly.
Because if not, we're fragmented, we're fragmented soul, and we need to balance each of those layers in order to be whole. And
Exactly.
so, in order to get out of the chaos, so to speak, we need to go in order to get out, we need to go in. And the only way that, we're going to go in is by doing the inner work and, facing the past. The past is not so you can, sort of like carry the past with you. It's to embrace the past, embrace the lessons of the past, see why those lessons came to you and extract the gift. And then you can move forward. If not, you're going to be carrying the past. It's not like we focus and dwell on it. No. What was there that, was a gift for us, that, that we can then extract that gift and carry it into the next phase. And that's really what we're supposed to be doing. But most people are not aware of that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if it's up to you and I, eventually we're going to get a lot of people to understand this process. Like my term, my mission, when I speak, I'm always speaking about how to release the issues and the emotional weight that we carry. Because when we think about the two, the emotional weight is the issues. And the emotional weight is the things that we carry from our traumas, no matter what kind of trauma it is.
Yeah,
but those traumas
absolutely.
are our story. And without the story, we cannot get to where we have to go. So if one is not willing to address the trauma, to address the chakra that might be blocked from whatever experience one has since, childhood or even past life for that matter.
Absolutely, yes.
They can't possibly release the emotional weight.
And the other part to that is, Joanne, that the emotional layer is the last layer before it becomes a physical manifestation of an illness or a disease. Exactly. So if you don't balance it at the emotional layer, what you're looking at is a disease or an illness. And at that point, then you have to go to the doctor, you have to see, how to treat that or whatever. So it could be prevented. I always say, and this is my personal opinion, illness can be prevented. And we can stop it on its tracks, so to speak, if we work on the inner self.
Yes,
That's my personal opinion. And from the work that I've been doing, I have seen that for myself. So I believe that.
Yes, I believe that too. I believe that theoretically there's 3 layers. The first layer is that physical symptom that shows up. Physical meaning you have shoulder pain or foot pain or hip pain, whatever that might be, or even the sore throat or the bronchitis, the physical symptom. And then the second layer is the actual illness that shows up because you didn't pay attention to the physical symptom, the first layer. So it's almost like the universe is preparing you. It's like, okay, now you have the illness. And when we can really understand what the illness is, yes, you go to the doctor, you find out the medical term for it, but then you do what I do. You go to your metaphysical book and you get an understanding to what it means metaphysically. And then once you have that understanding to what it is metaphysically, then you reach out to either Damaris or myself in regards to how to heal the illness. Now, if you're still not willing to pay attention to the second layer, then you get the third layer, which is then the disease. Same process though. So it really is about tapping into the chakras, because I truly believe that when the illness or the disease shows up, it's definitely our body's way of saying there's a chakra, if not many chakras, that is blocked.
That's absolutely correct. And I agree with that 100%. That, the body it's so intelligent. Is informing us. They say that once you're attuned to your body, you can tell an illness that's going to come, the onset of an illness a month, 2 months, 3 months before. When you're not in tune with your body, you don't know it until you actually have the illness. Yes. So when you're constantly aligning yourself, you're constantly working on those 4 layers, the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical, you are in tune with yourself. And you can tell when something is off right away, immediately. And then you work on it to balance it. Because we're human, right? We're gonna have negative emotions. We're gonna have different things going on. The key is that you become aware immediately and you start working on it immediately before it gets lodged into the chakras, before it gets stuck in one of those major centers.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And when we think about, once we get to that place where we can recognize that something's off balance, and we're going to go back into Damaris's tiny chakra ritual box for a moment here. A lot of the stuff that's in those boxes, from my point of view, is based on natural healing medicine. Like, from my box, and I can only speak of mine, and if Damaris wants to speak of some of the other ones that she created. In my box, there were crystals, there was an oil, there was some saints, and of course, there was prayer that I had to do. And all of this, from my point of view, is and candles. Can't forget about those damn candles. Those candles are important. But this is the natural way of healing, is literally using these different modalities to help us heal. Now,
Absolutely.
when you created these boxes, now I'm sure you have a count. How many boxes have you created since you were inspired to create these boxes?
I would say about 25 boxes. I would say about 25 since I started. Yes.
Yes.
And I'm actually gonna tweak them a little bit. I'm gonna make them even better. I'm enhancing them because what happens is as I started doing them, I was channeling things that I should put in the boxes. Now I am going to add a different feature to the boxes. I'm going to add one. I could give you one example of it. One would be I'm going to charge water. Your body is made up of water. 70% water. When what I'm going to do is based on your date of birth, right? Because I usually ask for that so that I can tap into your soul. Based on your date of birth, there's different codes, there's different coding, and different imprints that goes with that. And I can put those codings in the water and charge the water for your healing water. So now you can anoint yourself with your special water. You could put it wherever there's an area that's bothering you, perhaps. Like, let's say, hypothetically, if your knee is hurting you, then you can anoint your knee with this charged water attuned to your frequencies. And
Wow.
so they were showing me how to do that the other day. I went, every time I go to a sacred space, I went to a shrine out east, and every time I go there, I channel different things. So I went there last Saturday. And on Monday, I was already channeling different things, channeling this water. And the water also can correspond to different latitude and longitude, like marking a space, marking an energy of, let's say, a location. So let's say Sedona, right? So then I get the coding for the latitude and longitude of that space, and then I can put the coding in the water. So now that's almost like your blessed water. And so you can anoint yourself, you can put it in, like I said, in an area where it's bothering you. And that's your special water that's full of your frequencies.
Wow.
And so I'm adding that to the box. It's going to be wonderful because, again, you can take that water. Let's say it's going to come in a nice special bottle. If you go to a park, if you go to an area, you can also splash a little bit of that water into that space before you sit in that space. So now you're creating your sacred space. And you also could leave it there. So anybody that goes in that space where you splashed your frequency water, they can also receive a blessing themselves. So it's really awesome. And I never ever would have thought about that, but I channeled it. So, when I channel something, I trust it and I go along with it.
Of course, of course. And it's so amazing on how it all started from the tiny chakra
Yeah.
ritual box, and now it's expanding into something bigger because you've served what you need to serve based on the 25 boxes you've already created, and now it needs to take another level.
Another level. It needs to take another level because it's all about, and what I love is that the person can take their little box and they can work on it on their own, at whatever time of the day that they want to. It's their own ritual. And so they don't need me for that, unless, of course, if they have a question or something comes up like a healing crisis that I can answer, then, guide the person on what that's about. But other than that, they could, continue working with the boxes until they feel like they have opened up that chakra or balanced it. And if at any given point they feel like they need another one for another type of situation, they can also order another one. Again, the new ones are going to be more enhanced because I channeled new information for the boxes. So I'm really looking forward to working with the water energies and working with the frequencies of the person in the water. Because again, we're made up of mostly water. And
Yes.
so water is healing. So you can definitely use it to anoint yourself. Like I said, you can use it to spray an area. You can use it to cleanse an area with your own frequency. So I think it's wonderful.
Yes, yes, and I'm so glad that you and I I'm going to use the word reconnected, because I think we connected like a couple of years ago, and then
Yes.
it was not the right timing, whatever
No.
the case is, because it's all divine timing. Everything is divine
Plus, I
timing.
had all the stuff with the store. Like I said, now that's all been taken from me, so that I
Yes.
can focus on really what I need to focus.
Exactly, exactly. So with all that being said, and it's so sad to say that, the show is only an hour.
Yes.
So yeah, let our viewers know how they can reach you, because they're gonna want to get themselves a tiny ritual, a tiny chakra ritual box, or the expansion box. What are you gonna be calling the other box?
I'm not sure yet. I have to channel that information. I just channeled that, about the water frequencies, but I definitely are going to think about that for the expanded box, and
Yes.
see what I'm going to call it. But they can find me on Facebook as Damaris Samolinsky. Also, sorry, I was getting a phone call. They can find me on Facebook. They can also find me Damaris Samolinsky.com, which is my website.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, so for all of our viewers, I highly recommend that you connect with Damaris to learning about more about these boxes, to get yourself a box, because especially the ones that she's creating with water, because that itself's a whole new level. And I'm sure I'm going to have Damaris back on when she creates those, because I'm sure I'm going to have an experience with it as well. Because I always feel like I'm called to tap into some new stuff. So yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I'm really
Definitely.
looking forward to that. But Damaris, I so thank you for being
Thank you for
here
having
today
me. Thank
and
you.
sharing the work that you're doing, because I think it's necessary. We need it. We need all the help that we can get to activate our chakras. We're in extremely high energy right now. 2021 is a very powerful year, more powerful than last year. And yeah, so
Yes.
I'm so glad to share you with our audience, and just with our audience, just to we're both going to say goodbye together, because again, this is the way it ends. And
Yes.
for all of our audience, know that our show, the radio show, is back on again the first Wednesday in June. First Wednesday. So I'm going to be back here the first Wednesday every month. First Wednesday of the month, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll have another amazing guest next month as well. But for now, this is Damaris.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Namaste.
everybody. See you
Bye-bye.
all next month.